Hey, welcome in everybody. Hope everybody having a great Friday so far. Welcome to Wise Talks. This is our very first episode, and we kind of did this at the last minute, folks. So bear with us. I'm going to be a little bit rusty. This has been a long time coming, but
I can't hear anything.
We do have some
we can hear you.
guests on right now. Can you both hear me?
I can hear you.
Malcolm, you got me?
Ooh, can you guys hear me? I can't hear you guys.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you and then we can see you.
Well,
While
can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. We got you?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. I told folks this has been a long time coming. I'm a little bit rusty. We're gonna work this thing out though, folks. It's Friday. What more do we have to do and everything here other than to enjoy a great show? We have two great creators and everything here. We have Nigel Lynch of Beyond Caribbean, as well as Malcom Mcfadden of SixFifteen Comics. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem at all. No problem at all. Hey, with that being said, let's go around and do some introductions here. I want to start with Nigel first. What you got, Nigel?
All right, my name is Nigel Lynch. I'm with Beyond Publishing. I also work in association with Wiseacre Comics, and I am the writer and creator of the Diary of Stray Dogs Critical Ops Task Force and my new book, Neon Ghost.
Over to you, Malcolm.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Malcom McFadden, creator of SixFifteen Comics. I have a whole comic book universe out right now on 615comics.com, and I also have a YouTube channel called Yo a Nerd where I talk about different indie reviews and also talk about big stuff like DC and Marvel and stuff like that.
And look, folks, this is all about building community. So, if you can, go ahead and give both these individuals and everything, these creators here, a follow on their Instagram channel today. All right, so let's kind of get into the Kickstarters. Before I show anything, I want to kind of like have a little bit of discussion about the Kickstarters and everything itself. Can you give the audience and everything a little bit about your experiences and everything with crowdfunding with Kickstarter?
Well, I'll just go first. This is my second Kickstarter, so I don't have as much experience as say Malcolm, but every Kickstarter is different for me, and it's a learning experience. There's a lot of what you think may work sometimes doesn't work, and things that you don't think make sense sometimes that's the thing that comes through for you. So it's a learning game. And it's a lot of preparation. It's a very stressful period. You try not to be stressed out by it because you say, well, it's only just a crowdfunding thing. You either make it or you don't. But at the same time, a lot is hanging in the balance because you want to get funded. You want people to see your book. You want to get out there. You don't want to be coming out of the gate feeling as though you're a failure. So it is stressful. But at the same time, if everything is going good and you're landing with that community, meeting people and people are giving you feedback and that kind of thing, it can also be enjoyable. And things like this and coming together and trying to boost one another and help one another as a community, I think is very important.
What you got, Malcolm?
Yeah, so uh, I have a lot of same feelings like what he said. Crowdfunding. This is my fifth Kickstarter I'm doing right now, and it's a lot of work. It's more work than you think it would be. So even just the months preparing for Kickstarter is a lot of work. Just getting all your promotion and everything together. And so, like you said, it can definitely be stressful, but it's also a very enjoyable time because I think during the Kickstarters is the most where I'm engaging with people and also other creators. So it's kind of a time where you can still get to meet people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But like he said, it's still a very stressful time. But but you're also engaging with a lot of people and you're also meeting a lot of people and gaining fans that way. So it's definitely experience. And like you said, every Kickstarter is different. You learn something new from every Kickstarter. So that's also upside to it, but it definitely has its ups and downs.
So for both of you and everything, for both of your Kickstarters and everything thus far, have any one of you actually failed to, fund your campaigns?
No, I haven't failed. This is my second. I haven't failed as I was as yet, but I haven't failed a Kickstarter. But the reality sometimes, and what people don't really understand, even sometimes my wife would ask me, how come a funding goal is so low or how come one is so high? It's sometimes what we put out there that we want to get funded isn't necessarily what we need to, let's say, pay for the cost of the book. Sometimes it's just something to get the book printed. So even though sometimes we as creators will set a goal in our mind, we have another goal that we would love to achieve. So we may say, well, the goal is 1,500, but in our mind we would like to get to 4,000 and that kind of thing. So in terms of have I achieved the goals that I would like from Kickstarter as yet? No. But in terms of funding, yes. And sometimes I would say I kind of play a little safe when it comes to uh, working out my goal. I kind of do a lot of maths and calculate things from my last Kickstarter. I will look at the trends or look at other books that are similar to mine and see what they did or how much numbers they did to try to see where I could come in at.
Yeah, I think that the platform right has a all or nothing approach to it. If you don't hit your funding goal, you don't get anything, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you put all of that effort into preparing your campaign, and then you miss the mark, and it can be a little bit more of defeating, feeling defeated in a way, right? And you're like, man, I have to get back on this horse because if I sit here and just stress out for the next 2 or 3 months and everything, I miss opportunity to get this book out, or you delay that book and push forward to the next campaign. So it's before I get to Malcolm everything on this one, it's the funding goal is a delicate discussion that I think it definitely be had in the space. Oftentimes, right, when I look at the funding goal, I tell any creators and stuff to think about how many books. Ask the question: if you hit your goal of $2,500, right? In reality, how many books does that actually equates to for books sold from your funding goal versus just, hey, I raised $3,000. Okay, but how many books do you sell? How much do they actually equate to in totality and everything? Because if you only got 74 backers, you sold roughly 50 physical books, and then the rest of it and everything in digital books and whatnot. In reality, though, your funding goal should match exactly the totality of how many books you actually sold. So it goes down to print costs. All those factors to the equation, everything. You know, if you only get less than 100 backers, but you sold 70 some odd books and everything, you probably had double in reality because book costs everything from you go to a local comic book store, you're gonna pay $5 for a book. If you go on Kickstarter, guess what? You're probably gonna pay double that amount to support an indie creator for a one issue book. And so I always think of it as if I sell one $10 book at that price point, in reality, I sold 2 books. So double your book count when you think about those things and stuff. But Malcolm, how do you feel about that from the funding piece of it?
So for me, I haven't had one fail yet. Right now, my Kickstarter is going. We only got 5 days to reach our goal. We got a long way to go, but I haven't failed one yet. But like y'all said, you kind of want to be reasonable about your goals that you set for your Kickstarter. You want to think about, shipping costs, like you said, printing costs. Think about how many books you're going to sell. That you saying that is actually a thing I think about after like my second, third Kickstarter. Like think about how many books I actually sold, how many were digital, and because also you also want to get books so you can sell at conventions and stuff like that, or events that you go to. So you want to set your goal, and like also like Nigel said, you may set a goal of 1,500, but you really want to get like 4,000, right? So it's a kind of a little game you play with crowdfunding and Kickstarter that you kind of mess around with.
Yeah, it's a little bit of give and take and everything, right?
Yes.
I tell folks you want to be modest at first, right? Especially if you're new coming to the arena. It's your first Kickstarter campaign. Don't expect to pull a $10,000, $15,000 campaign. It's gonna be very hard. You get to have some great marketing skills or something, right? It will humble you in a way. But I have looked at both of y'all campaigns, and a lot of times and stuff and everything, it's just getting the word out. That's the biggest thing. And the word of thing get out to people spreads like wildfire. Because sometimes when the campaign ends, I often get from a lot of folks out there when I say, hey, the campaign is ending in 24 hours. What you mean the campaign is in 24 hours? This is my first notification on your social media page. I'm like, come on, where have you been this entire time? For the last 30 days, I've been running this campaign and everything. And you wait until the last day to email me asking about the campaign. I've been running this campaign for the last 30 days and everything, not the last 24 hours, right? So the one thing I really plead with Kickstarter in a way is to do a better job for helping indies market their campaigns. Because, when you're looking at social media and stuff, especially like Instagram, I might have a paid ad that hardly no one would ever see, until after the campaign. That has happened to where a person wanted to get the book and everything especially for Blood Wars. The campaign has been over for roughly 30 some odd days. They want to get the book. They're like, hey, when is campaign launching? I say, we already launched the campaign. Where have you been? I just saw this ad, man. I'm like, oh my goodness. I say, you know what? Look, the campaign is over though. I can see your PayPal and everything. You can get the book that way. Or post it on my website and everything. And it's crazy for how the amount of people that really don't know about the platform or how the platform and everything works. We got to do a better job from creators to really educate the community and stuff. We're trying to build that reach. So with that being said, folks, look here. We're going to go with Nigel first. We're going to introduce his campaign. There's a ticker that will be going across the feed right here. This is the link to the actual campaign and everything itself. Also within the description, you will see the link to both campaigns, both Nigel and Malcolm's campaign in the description as well. And guess what? We're within the last couple of days. Malcolm, you said 5 days, right?
I think 5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6 days. I think Nigel has between 10 and 11 days ready to go for his as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and we're going to bring up here Nigel's campaign page here. Can everybody see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, folks, we are at 83 backers, $3,114. Now, I do have a feeling, though, because I think Nigel said this. I think he's really wanted to get to 40,000, folks, and I think we can get him there. So,
yeah. I would like to get to 100 backers.
So, with that being said, we have 11 days to go to make that happen. This is a great campaign. Now, I don't know if this video will actually come through the live with the sound and everything. So just know that if you go to the campaign page, if you click on the video and everything here, Nigel here. Nigel, I think we need to play that video like for the last 10 days on everything across social media.
Yeah,
Video,
probably.
it's too good. But as you can see right everything, Neon Ghost. Nigel, can you tell us a little bit about Neon Ghost and how did you come about bring this comic series everything to life?
Okay, so Neon Ghost is the third book I have done in the Diary of the Stray Dogs universe. It's a spin-off series, kind of based on one of the characters that appeared in the Diary of the Stray Dogs, The Wounded 2. And she was a fan favorite. Everyone kind of gravitated towards her or asked me questions about her or said she was badass. And I always have an origin story for each of my characters. So even though I don't plan to do an origin comic book for everyone, this one was one of the more interesting characters. So I just said, well, I'll flush it out, pitched it to my artist. He loved it. And we then went into production with this book.
Yeah, the character everything itself, whatnot. I tell you, Nigel gave me a draft of the book initially with the script and everything. So I read it. I read the script and everything by itself. No images, nothing at all. And let me tell you, I was hooked. I was like, man, look, I have to have it. And then he started sending me pages. It was like two different PDFs and everything, right? He sent me the first half, and then he sent me the second half. And I was like, as soon as I got the first half, I was like, where the rest of it at? Folks, the book is that good, and trust you will not be disappointed. We'll go through here because Nigel has, again, the artwork and everything is amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about the artists for this project?
Right, so the artist, this is the third time we've worked together. Juan Carlos Francisco from Spain. He does amazing work with the futuristic, gritty cyberpunk feel. We both have a love for science fiction, and what we tend to do is we kind of, even though there's a language barrier between us, we kind of sit and chat. We share images, we share videos and stuff, and we have gone to a point even when sometimes I send him something in a script. There was a time I sent him in this script. I sent him 2 pages that I kind of just didn't put 100% effort into. And what was interesting was when he got to these 2 pages, he kind of sent them back and said, you can do almost like you can do better, or can you rework this? Because this kind of just feels as though we just kind of tread in water. And I kind of like that, where you got somebody who can kind of on your team who can pull you up and say, hey, I know you could do better, or I think we can do better on this. So that was it. That's the kind of relationship we have working on this book. There's things where he will see something in the script. What I like about him, he reads the entire script, so that nothing kind of takes him by surprise. And what he will do is he will start to mock up things even for the end of the story. So we design all the characters, we design all the locations, we think about things like what a character would wear, what kind of jewelry will they have, because all these different things help sell the character without you having to describe or give them a character sheet or speak, talk about them in the story. So little things like that we kind of try to do with the artwork, so that you have like multiple read-throughs and you see different things, and it adds to the experience.
Yeah, so folks, look here. Page count, 74 pages. Nigel has 50 pages of story and 27 plus pages of bonus art and behind the scenes look and everything. You're getting pretty much a great product and everything here. And then on top of that, he's providing you, this is not just not a regular floppy, this is a trade paperback. And so you have some covers and everything here also, which is some nice covers. Covers A, we have this cover B. If we reach 150 backers, this will unlock cover B. Then we also have The Wounded, Volume 1, Diary of Stray Dogs. That's part of this campaign also. And then you also have a couple more posters, everything here, and also some exclusive from Mike Watson, this spot photo cover and everything as well. This is like a must-have. I have to have that. And then you also going to cross collab with Wingless Comic. And so before I go and switch over to Malcolm and everything, can you talk a bit about the crossover here?
Right. So this is a crossover with Wingless and Brian J. Lambert. He's a great guy. We kind of talk a lot. We talk about comic books, comic book production. Sometimes if I have a question about the industry, especially the indie industry, stuff like that, or sometimes I would shoot him off like a piece of the script or ask him how things go. And he does the same. He may send me some artwork, stuff like that. So one of the things with all of us kind of launching Kickstarters at the same time or around the same time, I felt as though we should try to help uh, boost one another, try to do cross promotions and that kind of thing, uh, because it will help. One of the most important things that we need to do as indie creators is build fan bases outside of just creators. We need to tap into each other's fan base. Kind of it's about the fan base. Creators can only support each other so much, especially when we're looking at sometimes 3 or 4 Kickstarters coming out in a month. It can kind of get really hectic. So I try my best to do as much sharing as I can, or if you have a campaign and you want to reach out to me and say, "Can I feature your book in my campaign?" By all means, you can do that. I will find a book and I could give you something. So those little things help add value to the campaigns, because you're not only getting a book, you're getting something else free, and then it also opens up a audience to something that they probably wouldn't have backed before, and this is their chance to kind of read it and see what others have in store, because there's a lot of books out there and a lot of good books.
And that brings us to a great segue and everything here, because this next project, folks, I'm gonna come back to uh, Nigel's project and everything here as well, with the Young Ghost, to kind of go break down the tiers. But this brings a great discussion of collaborating with other indie creators, everything out there, to not only just share different worlds, universes across the board. But when this project came across my email distro, and then my emails, and then my Kickstarters and everything too, I was like, man, hold up, my social medias. I was like, what is this? And I was like, what is Malcolm got on this? What is he cooking right now? And so, folks, look here. This next project I'm bring up here. This is the link streaming across the bottom of the page. Again, it's in the description as well. This is the link to Malcolm's project. And guess what, folks? We need to get on it, because we got roughly about 5 to 6 days to support Malcolm in his efforts to get this across the finish line. So let's bring up this project, everything here, and I want Malcolm to tell me a little bit how this project came about as well, because again, for one, the title. How did you come up with this title?
So this is a crossover between me, my comic book company, 615 Comics, Page One Comics, and Advent Comics. And so the creator of Page One Comics, Page, he actually came up with the title Bear Butts. He actually brought us all together for the crossover. He hit me and Tony up and was like, "Hey, we have 3 similar characters. Why don't we bring them together for something epic?" And all of us were down for it. So that's just kind of how it came about, and he came up with the name Baron Bullets.
And that's a great catchy name. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was sold on the name alone by itself, because I thought it was very unique and everything. And that's what it's been, a crossover event. Like I said, I read your last book, Subject Zero, and man, kill it. I'm ready for issue number 2 already. It's good, folks. If you haven't got Subject Zero and everything, you're missing out. That book is.
Thank you.
But right now we're 1833. The goal is $3,500. We're 50 backers. We got 5 days to go. I know that any community can get behind this, and it just takes some time, just word of mouth, to share the links and everything, and people just supporting, even getting just the basic, the digital tiers and everything too. So as we go through this, you give us a little bit of the story and everything, because like I say, you have this cross collaboration with these 3 different characters right here, and I have read, and I know these 3 characters. I've read their books and everything. But what makes this book so unique in a way when it comes to the story and the plots?
So it makes it unique because it's a one shot. So basically, it's a crossover event that doesn't have any effect on our three separate universes. It was just something really dope to do, like something really fun to do, real comic booky. So the storyline is basically these three characters all out handling their own business, right? They're out doing their own thing, and then they all meet up after that at a bar. Well, that's where you see them sitting in that picture right there. They're all meeting
Mm,
up at a bar, and then while they're at this bar, they get attacked by this assassin called Phantom Tech, which is the assassin right there. Uh, and Phantom Tech attacks them while they're at this bar, and they must work together, even though they have all three different styles and three different attitudes. They all must work together to survive and get out of this bar.
man, this is that's a cool concept. The construct and everything too, just to be able to, again, just the setting. When I talk about storytelling and setting the environment and everything, how that's important to a story. And without even reading the book, I think you have done a great job just establishing the environment for these characters to actually thrive in everything. It'd be very unique to see how they actually work together, because I feel like initially though there's a lot of tension there early on. I'm just saying. I just get a feeling before having these three alphas here in the room and everything. It feels like there's some tension brewing, and somebody's going to chuck one of those cups and stuff like that across the table and hit somebody beside the head with it. I'm just saying. But I can
The
understand.
little spoiler, they don't really get into it with each other a lot. It's more of their conversations where they kind of clash and stuff like that. But
Okay.
Mm.
more so they're just at this bar just to get a drink, and they get attacked. So there's not even enough time for them to like start to get to that point. But it's the conversations between them where they like it gets witty and it gets funny. It's kind of like a action comedy in a way.
Can I ask a
Now,
question? How was it to not only collaborate with the characters but collaborate on the creation? That's something that I was looking at doing, but I've never done a book where I co-wrote something with someone. What's the process of that like? How do two people come together to write one story, especially if you have different views or different opinions or even different writing styles?
Okay, so this was my first ever crossover working with other people. So for this, it kind of was real seamless. So Page kind of he had like a structure that he wanted, that he had like in mind for the comic, where and we kind of went along with that structure. So like it was all three of us. We were right apart. We were right apart for our character, and then when we all came together, like me and Paige kind of wrote like different parts of that. So it was actually real interesting because like there was parts that like he would write, and then he would say things for like subject zero, and I'll be like, we just gotta change that because this isn't what subject zero would say in this
mm,
part right here. So it was kind of
Mhm.
like throwing ideas back and forth to get our characters right and like their and what they would do in that situation right. Because normally when you write a story, you're all the characters in the story are your characters, even if they're all different. They're your characters. You know what they would say or how they would act in a certain way. But these are other people's characters that I'm writing. So like I may think they may say something, but of course he's the creator of that character. He knows that character way better than I do. So those times were actually pretty cool. Just like kind of correcting each other, kind of correcting each other's writing so our characters really fit. But with the structure that Paige came up with was really kind of seamless to make the book. It
Mhm.
was kind of like just plug and play, and
mm,
if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, get with me. Another question too, which is probably something that, because with comic book writing, unlike say screenwriting, we don't have a standard format. So did each person have a different format style of the way how they kind of wrote their script?
Yeah, so we all do have everybody has a different, not even just style, but how you write it, like how it's formatted. All of us
Correct,
have a
correct.
different style. So what we did was they sent me their scripts, and then I formatted it in my style. And then so it kind of just we went along with my style, but they would send me their scripts and I would just kind of put it to mine, and that's how we ended it. if that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah, I get you. I find sometimes what I like about reading other people's format is sometimes I will adopt something from their format because sometimes someone else does something better, or it's a little easier, or it's not as taxing, or stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see how other people write comic book scripts.
Hmm.
This, this,
Yes, definitely.
this is a good question right here, then, because again, I will take this page right here for example, right?
Mhm.
I want to get into both of y'all heads a little bit here, as creators and script writers as well, because you're writing for your artists to make sure that they decipher, what you put down on paper and everything. So, how much detail information do you include in different panels and scripts and everything and dialogue for your artists to decipher? Or do you give them enough room and creative freedom to just figure it out themselves?
Okay. For me, it depends on how long I've been working with the artist. As you work
Hmm.
with an artist, you realize that you have to feed them less and less information. Sometimes to a point when I go back to check on a script to see if what's on the page is what I described, it's not even there. The description I gave was so vague. It would be like she walks into the coffee shop and she walks up to the counter and orders a drink, but the page has on like all these interesting characters. It has just certain things because in my world I have to add stuff that links into other books. So
Hmm.
what I will do is say, well, if we can squeeze in a post of COTF, or can we add the little somebody with the little religious doll, do little Easter eggs kind of thing. I tend to, especially if I've worked with a person before, try not to get into too much of picking angles and that kind of stuff. I will try to, and I've gone into more of an approach of putting as much dialogue as I possibly can finished into the book. Because something that I learned was, and this something from back in the day, I used to do a script with no dialogue, come and do the dialogue afterward, and then it would be hell to kind of fit it into the page. So one of the things I kind of do, and even Fred, you would know from working with me, I study the dialogue to a point where I will tell the artist where to position characters on the page because of who speaks first. So I kind of get into that technical aspect, but I leave a lot of the artistic stuff to the artist. We will kind of look at stuff, or if he knows what I kind of like, and we would, there's even, okay, I'll give you an example. In The Wounded 2, there's a scene in a bar where they were supposed to go in and shoot some guys and kill some people, some vampires. But then he wrote back to me and said, since it's such close quarters, can't we have them fighting with knives instead? And I was like, sure. Because it doesn't break the script, it doesn't change the story. And it means if he can make it flow and it helps with his art, I will be flexible. There are cases where sometimes somebody will come and say, well, can this character have X and X? And I would say, well, no, because they have this, this, and this. And then they would say, okay, I understand. So there is that form of communication, but I try to give as much freedom as possible, especially if I know what I'm working with. A new artist is a bit tricky. There's a feeling out process.
Yeah, I think it's very important for when you come to building and establishing your creative teams and stuff, right? That you build those relationships, everything with your artists, so it become a norm. They're in your mind, they're in your brain, everything. They know what you might like and everything too. At the same time, when they do a page, you're like, man, if a page doesn't bring a smile to your face, something is wrong. You probably want to think twice about something you're doing wrong, or you don't have
Yeah, yeah.
built that relationship thing with your artist to get that result. Because I know for me, everything that has been produced thus far, man, I'm just drooling. I'm like, goodness gracious almighty. And so when I saw this page right here from Malcolm's project, and I was like, man, this could be a poster. This could be a poster. I would actually put this into like a metal art piece and everything, right? And put it on my wall. It's that good. because again, it's just a lot of dynamic action that's happening and everything here that really stands out. And I'm like, man, this is a cool page right here. And I was like, I was wondering to see, I wanted to see, you know, how the collective through the collaboration, how did they come up with this page right here, Malcolm?
So that page right there is one of pages, one of pages. So that page is his character Pinpoint, and so his character, I believe, on this page, if I can remember what the script says, he's fighting a person that can like duplicate themselves. So
Mm.
that's where you see him like shooting a whole bunch of people that kind of look alike. So if I can remember I'm trying to remember what he said in the script. I believe it was, I think it was like Pinpoint surrounded by, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it basically was saying Pinpoint surrounded by somebody who's like multiplying themselves and like he's killing them.
Mm.
And then
Uh,
so with this artist, Serge, he's a really dope artist. He is really fire. um he doesn't really speak English, so he kind of
mm,
translates what you say. So sometimes with him, I kind of less is kind of more in a way where I can say
mhm,
less and then he'll kind of get what I mean. So working with him is real easy. And sometimes, like he said, like what Nigel said, he'll throw in his own ideas, and he'll say, hey, I think this would kind of look better if we did it like this. And normally I'll tell him just show it to me and then show me both ways, and then I'll decide which one's better. And normally his way is better. But he's a real dope artist to work with because he can kind of really bring what you have to life without you having to say much. And also, what I want to say something about this page that you got right here. This page was the first time I ever told an artist, hey, you can do whatever you want. I just want this character killing a lot of people, and he went ham. It was the first time I ever did that. I normally write it out. I write my fight scenes out. They're probably my most detailed thing I write. But this one, I just said, "Hey, go ham," and he really just went ham with it. Like he went crazy with that page.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great page.
that was, yeah, the
Man,
great place.
I just every piece, right, of a sequence wise and stuff like that and whatnot across the board, it just gives you the personality of the character comes into play and everything here, and it's just vicious. And that's what you expect from, you know, this character and everything. It's like, man, it just, and just the layouts of how he did it. And that's, to
Yes.
me, it's important, right, to give artists that creative freedom to
Mhm.
just play in their playground. The page is their playground, folks. Let them play. You know, you never, trust me, you never know what you get in return if you're just so firm and so stuck in your ways on how you want things for your series, your comic book, and everything. I understand it's your baby, but you have to trust the artist too, right? You have to trust the artist as,
Mhm.
you know, they trust you to write the script and everything, and bring your work to life where you can see it up close and personal. And to me, like I say, if it doesn't jump off the page or anything, just maybe probably need to take a step back and just talk with your artist, communicate everything, and see if you can get on the same wavelength. But like I said, over time, everything, like I said, as you develop the relationship, that artist will get into your mind and know exactly what you expect and everything going forward. But any project and everything you bring to the table, which is the beauty of indie comics and stuff, right? It just give you that creative freedom to where you're not restricted at all
Mhm.
on what you create. And so this series right here, like I said, uh, we have three great creators on this project, folks. With 5 days to go and everything, I want to get into a. We have some covers here. This gonna be the main cover right here, correct?
Yep, that's the main cover.
Awesome. I think I have that one. And then, like I said, just beautiful. I love how you're just capturing the essence, all of the characters, the main characters, and everything. And it just seems like there's no individualism that's actually, you know, within this book. It just seems like everybody has a main plot, and it seems like everybody's the main character and everything in a way too. And so, you know, I think that's just beautiful how y'all did this through this collaboration. This is usually when I see a one shot, I'm like, man, okay, cool. Uh, but in essence, I would want more from this trio. I'll tell you the truth.
Hey, there can always be more. You never know.
I'm like, this is pretty cool here. This is nice. I mean, your covers are There are some nice covers. But let's get into some reward tiers here. And so you have it to where you're starting off at $10 for the digital tier. How many pages is it going to be?
It's going to be 48 pages. It's I
40.
think about 30 pages of story and then added pages, maybe like 10 to 10 added pages, I believe. But it's 48 pages total.
Got
And it's, I'm telling you, the story is straight action from start to finish. Like, it is crazy.
Gotcha. So for $10, folks, we get the digital tier, and then you also get the PDF and also the photo gallery. And then for 15, you will get a physical book, and then also the digital copy and everything here as well. But you receive a physical copy of Beer and Bullets, the Phantom Tech variant cover. All right, for Phantom Tech there for 15. And then for 20, you get the digital deluxe tier. So you receive the Beer and Bullets PDF, digital Beer and Bullets photo gallery, Subject Zero #1, Alien Passage #1, and Southside #1. I'm probably going to take it to my tiers and make sure which one I got, because I might get I want to make sure I have my collection. You also get the beer and Bullets tier here for $25, which is also the B&B poster and cover A and the digital. These are some great tiers and everything here, folks. Great tiers. $35 to get here. The beer and Bullets tier #3. Get your name added in the thank you page, which is always awesome. 65, you get kind of like a whole lot of stuff here, folks. It seems like there's just a lot of value when it comes to these tiers. You're getting you get more bang for your buck and everything here. And so you're not wasting.
That's exactly what we tried to do.
This is pretty awesome. This is really awesome. And then even here and everything, right? You will receive, all of these. Hold up. This is an ammo case.
Yes. You'll get an actual ammo case with the comics. You'll get posters. You'll get stickers. We're adding a whole bunch of special stuff inside of it that we didn't even name. So it's just, you get an ammo case just full of just comic book indie goodies. So it's a real dope thing that we're trying to do with it.
Do you actually have a picture of the ammo case by chance?
I do, but it's not where I can get to it right now. I wish I should have sent you that before we did this. But yeah, I don't have I don't have it with me, but I do have an actual picture of it. It's I wish I could describe it.
Yes, if you can give it to me, send it to me in a message later on or Instagram. I just might increase my pledge tonight.
Oh yeah, I can send it to you later. Yeah.
That's beautiful, folks. This is what any comes everything about this creativity piece, everything of it. I love seeing these tiers like this right here, to where there's value and stuff, and everything there, and it really fits the theme. If you're collecting everything out there, right, and you look for unique things when it comes to different tiers, that's unique, and that's why I would love to collect that piece and everything, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't know how many people actually grab that tier. But guess what? I think I'm going to grab it to tonight. I'll tell you that right now. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think we got a couple that grabbed that tier.
That looks really, really good. All right, folks. With this one, right, everything, like I said, we got 5 days to go. The link and everything is scrolled across the bottom of the feed and everything right here. We also have the link also posted in the description. But let's go back. I want to show also the tiers for Neon Ghost real quick.
And also, can I ask Nigel a question?
Go ahead. I'm going to bring this up.
So Nigel, with your universe, right? So I wanted to ask you, seeing like being a fan of it, I wanted to ask you how you came up with the idea to do kind of like spin-offs. So it's kind of like it seems like you're kind of like doing like how Marvel did, like coming up with like the Iron Mans and then like the Thors and stuff like that. How did you kind of get the idea to do it, to lay it out how you're doing it?
To be honest, a lot of it happened a little bit by mishap. So what happened was the original book got delayed. Then I did another book, and that book got delayed. So, but because I have the entire world kind of plotted out, and I created the world first. And something I also did too, which drove a lot of this, was in my trying to get some books off the ground. Someone said, "Why don't you write a novel?" And I was like, I don't like to write like that. But I said, well, I have nothing to do, so I'll try to write a novel. and I kind of got thrown into the indie novel writing space. So I kind of followed a lot of YouTube, BookTube, and that kind of stuff. And I wrote a book about maybe 150 pages. And it was a learning experience. And one of the things that I was able to do was pluck short stories out of that novel and turn them into comic books, or use them use it as a world Bible. So a lot of the characters you see will be stuff that's out of the novel, but I will never publish the novel. So there's a story I did called Indigo Child that's going to come out sometime in the future. That's a chapter out of the novel. Uh, there's a little bit of all these characters that you see here. They're Shani's in the novel. So it happened by accident, but what I had to kind of do was just roll with it. And then once I found my footing with the Wounded One, I kind of went from there. So, as I said, there's Clock, there's Spider, there's all these different characters I could kind of draw from. The main character was supposed to be Douglas, and that's why I kind of spin him off into his own series, COTF, so I could kind of build him up and have him shine and that kind of stuff. And the way I try to do as much cross pollination into the worlds as possible. So if you're a fan, you're gonna see stuff. You're gonna see, you may even see like Rosa come back, because the books also are not in a linear timeline. They jump all over the place. And that was done by design because it kind of gives me the freedom. That's something I saw you do in your book, which I kind of picked up on and I kind of enjoyed, where the Sub-Zero book is kind of linked to the Laura Lee book. And if you read it, you would kind of pick up the threads and that kind of stuff. And that's what you need to do. You have to kind of create these worlds that seem bigger, not by saying that they're bigger, but by having stuff cross-reference in it. So then it feels bigger. If you can understand what I mean. So that's
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. And when you do it where there's no established timeline, it means that you could kind of go back and fill in things in the history, or you could, if you killed off a character, you could go back to when he was alive and build in little pieces, or bring him back up again. And people say, oh, that's I enjoy movies that are like that. I like movies that cross over. Or you see Quentin Tarantino was famous for that, where there's a guy with a cowboy hat is in a lot of his movies, and he plays the same character, and the movies have nothing to do with one another. I like stuff like that.
Have you both seen Paradise, that newest series that just came out?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
That's the writing style that they actually utilize for that series.
Okay,
it's a great series.
I gotta check it out.
It's on my list.
Yeah, that's one thing that really reminded me of you, Nigel, how he created this character and everything. And even though this person probably died in that issue or whatnot, they went back and utilized that character, and it seemed like he's still the main character and everything of the entire story. And he's woven in every single episode in some capacity and everything. You see him layered within the story and everything. It's like, man, this is just nice. That's why I probably got a season 2. So it's really, really good. Some good storytelling and everything there. But let's get into some of your tiers as well, because I think this is one of the most important things when it comes down to Kickstarter, trying to figure out what tiers, the breakdowns, everything, the price points, all of those things and stuff when it comes to creating your campaigns really, really do matter. And so with Digital Ghost, you have it here also for crossover with Wingless Comics. You get 2 books, everything here, part of this bundle for $15. Again, good value, folks. Over roughly 100 plus pages, everything on content right there that you're getting for only $15. And if you scroll down everything a little bit more, you get the Neon print here. This is the first Neon Ghost book here, where you get the regular cover A. You also still get the PDFs, everything too, when it's comics in the bundle as well for $25. Then for $35, you get the Spot 4 Spectre cover and everything here by Mike Watson. I got a chance to actually watch that as he drew that and everything on one of his podcast shows as well, his live chat and draw, which was really, really good. I'm like, man, if you haven't seen one of his shows, everything, definitely go on it. He will draw you a cover or piece and everything that you utilize for a cover, which is really, really well done. He has a great series and everything also as well. And that's the beauty of the collaboration through indie comics and everything also. And then also the cyber bundle here for $50 where you get the actual physical copy of the Wounded #1. And like I said, if you haven't read the Diary of Stray Dogs, you're missing out, folks. You are missing out.
Facts.
A beautiful book.
Thank you.
Questions, these crazy everything here, I'll put those into the chat. I'll be more than happy to ask any questions their way. But you get this for $50 and everything here. And this is really why I became a fan of Nigel. Before he even brought COTF and everything, when I saw Diary of Stray Dogs, the first book and everything, right? I was trying so hard to say, hey, Nigel, let me publish that book, man. It was that good. I was like, goodness. And he pitched COTF everything too. It was even better, right? But I fell in love with this one character that he was mentioning and everything. That I was upset with him. I was really upset with him. For one, I won't ruin it for anybody, but just know I was upset because of what he did. But I became a fan of the series and everything. And then when I got Volume 2, even more fun.
I think that's the freedom we have. We supposed to create stuff that's impactful. One of my philosophies in terms of writing comic books, it's to do with the way how I used to digest comic books as a child. When we had a comic book, we didn't read it once and put it down. You constantly read this thing every time you had a chance or you saw it laying around. And the idea was that you were supposed to see something you didn't see before. I don't know if you're familiar with a Mad magazine. Mad magazines back in the past had like 2 movies done in comic book form, tons of little sketch pages. Then they would have written jokes, letter pages. Then they would have little drawings scribbled in the margin. There was jokes on the cover, jokes on the back. So like you had to read this book about 10 times to really say that you've gotten everything. So even if you were a person who only looked at pictures at first and you've read it so much, eventually you start to read the letter section in the book, which was also funny. So I kind of believe that a comic book should be interesting enough that you should revisit it either for the artwork or for the content. And it should be every comic book should have something that I believe is what I like to call a gut punch. There should be some sort of gut punch. And in all of my books, I try to put a gut punch in it, in the story. It doesn't have to be a twist. It just has to be.
It was definitely a gut punch.
This has to be a gut punch.
But it was definitely working and everything. Like I said, it introduced Nigel to me with COTF, which I definitely fell in love with and everything too. The story, just the characters, everything, the profiles. Nigel does a great job of including those just character information, everything, right? Which really just draw you into the story even more and just immerse you into this world and everything he's created. And so with this collector's edition, everything right here, you get it for $100. We have also the Star Attraction. This is where you actually get one of your characters, cross collaboration, everything, right? And get into issue number 2 of Neon Ghost as well. So hurry up, folks, jump on this one right here. We got 2 people already back this one as well. We've got roughly 1 more of those tiers left to grab. So go ahead and grab it, folks. There's 1 left and everything. Then we also have the collector's treasure right here. For $500, you get these 11x17 posters. They're beautiful. I might just get these made regardless of the fact. That's gonna look good. But yeah, so $500, everything, you can pretty much get everything at this point. And like I said, we have roughly 11 days to go for this project, everything right here. And Nigel is sitting at roughly $3,114 with 83 backers. 11 days to go for the Kickstarter and everything right here, folks. 2 great projects we have here. You will not be disappointed whatsoever for any of these projects. Everything definitely worth it. I'm excited, but I'm a backer for both of them. I'm definitely going to support even more of their work and everything too at the same time. Anything Malcolm puts out, I know it's going to be fire. It's hot. If you're not back any of Malcolm's books and everything, and grab his projects, the universes he's creating and stuff with his characters, you're missing some good stuff, folks. That's what indie comics everything is about. That's the beautiful thing of it. Again, this was kind of like last minute in a way, gents, and we was able to pull this thing off with my goal is an hour show, right? I know that was
Hey,
my goal. But I tell you, I want to do more of this because I think we need this in indie. I think we
Yeah.
need to have these discussions, everything that to not only uplift, uh, just creative pool and everything too, but showcase and collaborate and just with each other brains and everything too at the same time. Because even tonight, I learned a lot from you too on your thought process and everything, on how you go about scripting and everything too at the same time, laying things out with your artists, all those things and stuff. And then, Malcolm, just having three different individual mindsets going to a one shot is very hard for some creators
very.
because some creators, if they can't put their egos aside, and it's like, man, the ego drives to the point to where it never happens. And to see this book and everything come to fruition and whatnot is a success and everything in itself. I'm wishing you both success and everything going forward. Anything I can do on my end, I can share across my feeds, my social media, everything, my email distro, across the board. I would do so everything to make sure that you get the support that you deserve, right? But I would be remiss if I didn't do this first and everything because I know you two and I value your input. And since this is the first show and I have not shown this to anybody, I think Nigel has seen it. Nigel has seen it and everything, right? He's a collaborator on the page and stuff like that. However, though, folks, I have not shown this one yet. Let me pull it up real quick here so you can see it. And I did post something on my social media and everything as well. They're working on behind the scenes. But yes, we do have this baby right here granted to release here next month. And that's after we, get Neon Ghost fulfilled and everything, it's going to happen. So without further ado, this is the first look and first preview. And I will share with the world and everything. The campaign page is up and we are ready to rock and roll. But this is going to be Magnus number 5. The book
Hey,
completely finished. We're ready to go. We're excited. And on top of that, we're steamrolling to production for issue number 6. And that one's looking pretty fire and everything too. And believe it or not, I'm allowing Lewis to just play in the playground and let him go to work and everything within this playground because this is going to be action packed. This one right here is something special to me because we really drive home the aspect of family. We give a really great introduction to Magnus's sister for the first time, Kyla, where you see them and everything working in tandem right here. This is one of the beginning pages and stuff intro wise where we see the champions of the Orishas fighting Magnus and Mikado, everything here as well. And so again, we're bringing back letter squids for the lettering on this one. But this is a new creative team. This is Lewis and Matthias Huve on colors. And so again, we're bringing a lot to the fold right here. We will have some exclusive items, everything as well. This is going to be the variant cover for issue number 5. We always do a variant cover, and I'm thinking about doing a exclusive art piece variant cover, metal cover for the first time for this campaign as well. So now with the crossover, because Nigel has set the bar and everything very, very high. I will be doing a crossover with Punch Publishing, where you would get the first issue of Pop Scars for free. If you have not read Pop Scars, trust me, you would not be disappointed. It is really, really good, and it is violent. And trust me, it has a plot that it would turn you upside down once you get to the end of everything in this book, and you're like, what the heck just happened? Like Nigel Malcom, Pat is a genius. And trust me, you will not be disappointed with getting your hands on this first issue, which is part of every single tier for free, both digital. And I'm thinking about including a physical version of the book and everything as well. Coordinate everything with Pat to see if we can make that happen. But this is definitely again the first look. This series right here, issue number 5. Like I said, I'd be amiss not to sit here and offer it up on my first Wise Talk podcast, everything here. And then at the same time, too, I'll probably be reaching out to both Malcolm and Nigel for future collaborations, everything in the future, and to see what kind of playground we get into and everything as well. I know for a matter of fact, Malcolm is working on something that I'm really interested in as well. And I would love to see from a samurai martial arts type, of storytelling and everything. Hero is a little bit of ways away, but the characters, everything look really good. And I know I have not seen Malcolm's character as of yet, but I know he's kicking up something very sweet. And so I think Nigel has something too that he's working on behind the scenes. He just haven't shown it yet. I think I saw glimpses and everything of it. I think he kind of showed me some things, but I'm really definitely excited about as well. And so again, both of these creators right here, get them a follow on their Instagram, folks. We have Nigel Lynch at Power Monkey number 76 here on Instagram, and we also have Malcolm on Instagram at 615 Comics. Follow them up on there and everything. See what they're doing. Check them out. Follow their campaigns. The campaign links will be posted in the description of the page. And this is going to be the end of our first Wise Talks podcast. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you here. Looking forward to more podcasts in the future. Any closing words for the audience before we leave?
Just go out there and try to back both of these campaigns. They're a lot of hard work, a lot of love and time and effort went into these, and the quality is very good. You can see from the artwork, the storytelling, that kind of stuff. So if you're on the fence, just come over and check it out. I think on my Instagram there's a link for a free sample PDF of all the books with the first 10 pages. It's in the stories. So it's only up for the next day or so. So if you go on, you can get a free sample PDF of what you have in store for Neon Ghosts, for Diary of Stray Dogs, and for the COTF.
Awesome.
And closing for me, just support indie comics in general. Just go out and support indie comics. That is literally where you're getting the best, most creative work right now is in the indie comics. I'm not saying don't support the big two, but indie comics is where you're getting those fresh, dope stories from. So support indie comics.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen. Hey, folks, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're going to build this channel everything up. I'm probably going to do this probably on a Friday. We'll see what happens. If it goes well, I would love to invite you two gentlemen and everything back to just chit chat and everything, chop it up a little bit with other creators and everything we bring into the podcast and show. Also, I think it'd be beautiful to just be able to pick each other's minds and brains, everything, just really uplift the indie community as a whole. With that being said, folks, like I said, follow us, subscribe to the channel. You can also go to wiseacre.us, and there are some great things and stuff on there. You can also find COTF right now on the website. Go grab a digital copy and everything. Physical copy will be available here shortly, soon. We got some more announcements to make. I can't make them just yet, but we do have some more announcements, some major announcements to make here in the very near future. With that being said, folks, this is going to be the House of Wise Acre Comics and Wise Talks with both Nigel and Malcolm. Signing out. Until next time, have a great weekend, folks. Be blessed.